Hi everyone, so today I'm here with my April wrap up and my May TBR video. So in April I finally managed to make it into the 20s. I read 21 books and 1 novella and I'm super happy for that. That's what I've been aiming for since the start of the year, and this is the first month I've actually done it, so I'm really happy and hoping I'll be able to keep it up now. So let's just do a quick recap of all the books that I read in April. The first book I picked up was Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. It's my favourite Colleen Hoover book so far and I completely fell in love with the characters. Sydney and Ridge are my favourite and Ridge totally has my heart. The second book I picked up was Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. This is a dystopian, and for any of you who've seen my older videos, I didn't like Victoria Scott's very first debut novel, but Fire and Flood is completely different and I can absolutely fell in love with this one and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars as well. And then I read Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I read this one with Brittany from This Is the Story of My Reading Life, and yeah, it was good, but there are a lot of similarities between it and Vampire Academy, but I did still enjoy it and I am looking forward to continue on with the series, so I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Storm by BRIGID KEMMERER. This follows the Merrick brothers and they all have elemental powers, and this one follows Chris, and I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of action. I really enjoyed seeing these brothers use their powers and I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the books. I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I picked up Perfect Chemistry by Simone Elkeles. Everyone had been raving about how amazing this book is, but I don't seem to be blown away by Simone Elkeles' writing. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it, but I just didn't think it was amazing. And then I read Catching Jordan by Miranda Kennelly. Yet again, this one was just okay. I really enjoyed it. It was a really light, contemporary, cutesy romance. Exactly what I was looking for. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And yeah, it was just really adorable. And then I read Elemental by BRIGID KEMMERER. This is the first novella in the series and it follows the eldest Merrick brother, Michael, I think his name is, and what happened that summer with the girl that died. So yeah, I enjoyed getting to see a wee bit more of Michael's life and what he used to be like before. So I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read The Fearless by Emma Pass. This is a standalone dystopian and I absolutely love that Emma Pass is doing this, and The Fearless has been my favourite so far. I just love the characters, I love the whole concept of The Fearless, and there were scenes that were pretty terrifying, so I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. This is another one that I bloody read with Brittany and we absolutely loved it. I think she loved it a lot more than I did, but I still really loved it. I loved getting to see all of the original Wizard of Oz characters and seeing Danielle Page's take on them, and yeah, I thought it was such a fantastic take on the Wizard of Oz, so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read The Taking by Kimberly Derting. This one's about aliens, and a girl was abducted when she was young and then she gets put back and she's the same age but everyone else around her has aged and she doesn't really know what's going on, and I thought it was really great. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting to see what happened to her and how everything that happened to her has affected her now, so yeah, I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read A Kiss in the Dark by CLARKE. I can't really get into too much detail about this one because I don't want to ruin anything, because I immediately thought something at the start and then it wasn't and I was completely wrong, so I can't really get into too much detail, but I will say it packed an emotional punch and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This book was just amazing. I absolutely loved every single second of it. It got a 5 out of 5 stars from me, and in my eyes I don't think Jennifer L. Armentrout can do it any wrong. And then I read All Lined Up by CARA. This is the first book in her Rusk University series. I got it for a review for her blog tour and I decided that I was just going to read it and write my review and just schedule it because I really wanted to read it and I absolutely loved it. It's been my favourite of hers so far. So yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read Rome by J. Crownover. This was book 3 in the Marked Men series, and I had picked this up before but I wasn't really feeling Rome because he'd changed since I had last read about him in Jet, and yeah, I wasn't really feeling it, but I did read it and I finished it and I really loved it, and I get why Rome was acting that way now, but Rome and CARA were just so amazing together, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Lucky Number 4 by Amanda Jason. This is about a girl who ends up moving into an apartment with 3 super hot model guys, because that happens in real life. It was funny, there were parts that I liked, but most of the time I was just really bored and really annoyed with the characters, so I gave this one a 2 out of 5 stars. And then I read You're the One That I Want by Giovanna Fletcher. Holy crap, does that book pack a punch. I had tears rolling down my face at the end of it. It was heartbreaking, but such a beautifully written book, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read Arclight by Josanelle McQueen. I actually really enjoyed this one. I didn't think I was going to, because at the start I wasn't really feeling it, but it gets a lot better. There's a lot of action and a lot of things to uncover, so I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read How to Love by Katie Katugno. This is another one that I read with Brittany, and we really loved it. The characters in this book are far from perfect, they're extremely flawed, and that's the main thing I really loved about it. It made everything that happened in this book seem so real and true. So yeah, I really loved it, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Nash by J. Crownover. This is book 4 in the Marked Men series and my favourite by far. I absolutely love Nash, and I knew this one was going to be my favourite. Him and Saint were just, their story was just amazing, and I loved every single second of it, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read Meridian by Josanelle McQueen. This is a follow-up to Arclight, and honestly it wasn't as good as Arclight. I mean, there was a lot of action, a lot of fighting, but the storyline just didn't jump at me as much as the storyline of Arclight did, so I gave that one a 3 out of 5 stars. And then I read Salvage by Alexandra Duncan. Yet another one that didn't particularly jump at me when I started reading it, even though I'd been super excited for it. The storyline was quite slow, and the writing, I found myself trying to force myself to get through it because I did want to see what was going to happen, but I did enjoy it, but it wasn't amazing, so I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. And the last book I read in April was Sleep No More by April Lynn Pike. And when I picked this up at about 11 PM, I totally forgot it was about a serial killer. So there was me at about 2 AM going, yeah, not going to sleep tonight. There were parts of this book that were terrifying, but I really enjoyed it. I love trying to uncover the serial killer, and the fact that there's oracles in it as well I thought was fantastic, so I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. As for my favourite books of April, I think I have 2. Trying to pick between them is really hard, but I think I'm going to go with Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover and You're the One That I Want by Giovanna Fletcher, because both of them were fantastic and had me in tears, and yeah, they were just amazing, so I definitely recommend both of them. So now on to the books I plan to read in May. So in May I've got an extremely ambitious TBR pile that consists of 2 books that are roughly 800-900 pages, and then quite a lot of other books. So the first book I want to try and read in May is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. Brittany sent me this one, and recently there's been quite a few people coming into the library when I've been working saying that they're looking for the next books in these series because they're amazing, so I decided that this is the month I'm definitely going to pick it up, and just to make sure that I do, if I don't have enough time, I've set myself goals. So each day, or maybe each couple of days, I'm going to try and read 100 pages of this, and then I can get it done, and then me and Brittany can fangirl over it. I'm also going to be reading Burn for Burn by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. I'm going to be reading this one with Brittany, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I've had it sitting on my shelf for a couple of months now, and everyone's been raving about this series, and I really want to start it, so I can't wait. I'm also going to read Sweetly by Jackson Pierce. I read Sisters Red about a year and a half ago, and I really loved it, so I'm looking forward to this one since it's the Hansel and Gretel retelling. I also want to read Me Before You by Yo-Yo Moyes. I've heard a lot of great things about this one, and I'm kind of feeling adult contemporary just now, so I decided to read this one. I'm also going to hopefully finally start reading A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. One of the women I work with in the library, she keeps going on and on about me finally picking these up, so I got the first one at the library and I've set myself goals as well, so I'm hoping I will finally get through this one. I'm also going to be rereading Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo because Ruin and Rising is out in June. I'm currently rereading Shadow and Bone, so yeah, as soon as I finish that I'll be going on to this one. I also want to read The Oversight by Charlie Fletcher. I got sent this one for review from Little Brown Books and I have heard a lot of great things about this one as well. I've seen it around, a lot of people are starting to read it and saying it's really, really good, so I can't wait to read this one. I'm also going to finally pick up Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I know nearly everyone has read this series, but I haven't, so I'm going to start it this month. I'm taking part in Bout of Books this month as well, and I already have my TBR list. So the first book I want to read is The Iron Knight by Julie Kagawa. This is the last book in the Iron Fae series, and I read that about a year ago and I still haven't finished it, so I'm determined that I'm finally going to finish it. The second book I want to read is Ruins by Dan Wells. This is the final book in a partial sequence and I just really have to know how the series ends. I'm also going to read Soulmates by Holly Bourne. I've heard a lot of great things about that one, so I can't wait. And then I've picked 4 review books as well to read for Bout of Books. The first one is Featherbound by Sarah Rowley. This is a Cinderella retelling, I think. Renegade by DRIZA, which is a follow-up to Mila 2.0. The Three by Sarah Lotz, which sounds super creepy. And The Dark World by CARA, SHULTZ, which sounds amazing. And then I also have a few other review books that I want to read this month, like After the End by Amy Plum, Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly, The Falconer by Elizabeth May, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, The Secrets of Lily Grace by Sarah Strohmeyer, and Hex by Michelle Chris. And there are also a few releases coming out this month that I want to read, like City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare and the one by Kira Cass, because I cannot wait for either of them. And I'm also going to be reading The Ring and the Crown by Melissa De La Cruz. Rachel from Reiki Books contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do a collab video with her, and that's the book that we've settled on reading. So yes, my main TBR is huge. I don't even want to count how many books that I have on it because it will probably hit about 20 books, and I really, really hope I'll be able to read them all. So there we go, that was my April wrap up and my March TBR video. Let me know in the comments if you've done a wrap up and a TBR video, and I will definitely go watch it. And also let me know if you've read any books that are on my May TBR, and let me know what you thought of them. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys later. Bye everyone.